Good evening, everyone. I'm Shikha Jhingan, and on behalf of IWAT India chapter, I welcome you all to our webinar today. IWAT, or International Association of Women in Radio and Television, it's India chapter, and we strive to build perspectives and create spaces to have conversations, on issues that are faced by media practitioners in India. And over the last 2 decades, or more than that, actually, IWAT has been holding several events, which include seminars, exhibitions, and also our very well sought after Asian Women's Film Festival that takes place at IIC, and now which travels to other cities as well. So, in responding to the situation that we are in today, the pandemic situation, we have decided to start use the online platform to start a new series, which is called Something in the Air, and that is why we are all here today, and I welcome you all. And this 6-part series has been conceived as a set of conversations with women on radio and television. And these are women who were pioneers, who shaped our media landscape. They also became household names. Many of us connect with them through our oral and visual memories. And this is a kind of an oral history that we are charting into. And we hope to have 5 more episodes, and hopefully this will continue even after that. So this series has been curated by me, and that is Shikha Jhingan. I am also a board member of IWAT, and Paromita Vora. And I also want to thank the Goethe Institute for supporting us for this particular event. So today, we set the ball rolling. Today is the first episode of Something in the Air, and we have a conversation with 2 spectacular women from Doordarshan. And Paromita Vora is going to be steering this conversation today. And before I hand over to Paromita, I would like to introduce her briefly. Paromita Vora is a well-known writer, columnist, filmmaker, and also a board member of IWAT. So over to you, Paromita.
Thank you very much, Shikha, and welcome everybody who's watching. But I'm going to ask everybody to please be patient and wait for just 1 minute, because technology, as you all know, is a big trick and doesn't always work smoothly. And we just need to get our live stream on Facebook. So please give us a minute while we do that. So I'm just going to check. I'm sorry, I know you're all waiting. I'm just going to check if we are live on Facebook or not yet, because many people are waiting to watch over there. Okay, we are going to start anyway, because, Facebook will catch up when it catches up. But everybody who's here, welcome. We are really excited to be doing this first episode, and Shikha already introduced the concept to you. When we talk about media and women, we always talk about the way that media represents women, but we very rarely look at the history of media through the experiences of women. So our hope is that today we'll hear from 2 women who were part of very early media history of India, what it was like for them, what being a woman in media, but also just being a media person in a country where media is new, in a very, very diverse country. It's one day before Republic Day. So the idea also that there is an entire new nation, and it's being kind of crafted also via the media. To understand this history in different ways, to have different perspectives on it, was the aim of the series. So I'm going to introduce our panelists one by one. First, we have Salma Sultan. Everybody knows her. Salma ji, if you'll just say hello, then they can see you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Salma Sultan, actually, neither of our panelists needs much introduction, but I'm going to do it because recently I've come to know that there are some people called young people who didn't watch Doordarshan. So just for them, Salma Sultan is an iconic figure of Indian media. She grew up in Madhya Pradesh, went to school in Sultanpur, studied in college in Bhopal, and then began to work as a news announcer on Doordarshan. She worked for 30 years in Doordarshan, and after she stopped being a news announcer, she also produced a number of shows that were popular, like Panchatantra Se. And she's most famous for, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and she'll tell us that she's most famous for wearing a rose in her hair during the newscast, and we all remember her that way, but we remember her for many other reasons, which she'll talk to us about. And our second panelist is Manju Singh. People of my generation, Manjuji, could you just put on your mic and say hello so people can see you? Put on your mic.
Hi. Hello, Paro.
Hi.
Good to see you after so long.
Yes, and great to see you. So some people of my generation will remember while growing up watching Manjuji's program Khel Khilone, which was India's first children's show on Doordarshan. And she was popularly known as Manju Didi. Some of you will remember her as the person who acted as Amol Palekar's younger sister in Golmaal. And many of you will remember watching the show she produced called Ek Kahani, but also Show Theme, which was, you know, for those of us growing up on Doordarshan and trying to get the chatkara of Bollywood as much as we could from Chitrahar and Tabassum's show, Phool Khile Hain Gulshan Gulshan. Show Theme was one more, like we could see a little bit more of filmy stuff. So she produced that show. It was also, I think, the first sponsored show ever to be on Indian television. So welcome both to Salma Sultan and Manju Singh. I'm also happy to say that we are now live on Facebook, just in time. For those who missed the introduction, please do go and check the video when it's put up later on YouTube so you can hear the introduction. Salma, I'm going to start by showing a little clip from a program about you. So just give me a second. Sorry guys, our first episode, so we are a little bit figuring it out. Please be patient with us.
आज सवेरे नई दिल्ली में प्रधानमंत्री के निवास स्थान पर श्रीमती गांधी की हत्या करने की कोशिश की गई।
कोई इस चेहरे की सादगी पर फिदा हुआ तो कोई उनके अंदाज पर मर मिटा। दूरदर्शन का वो चर्चित चेहरा जिसका अंदाज आज भी हमारे जहन में जिंदा है। बालों को संवारा और फिर उनमें समेट ली पूरे जहां की खूबसूरती, यानी एक सुर्ख लाल गुलाब। आदतन साड़ी ने भी कंधे को नजाकत से ढका। 1967 का वो दूरदर्शन और उस पर आती संजीदा खबरें, इसी गंभीरता के बीच उनके बालों में लगे गुलाब की याद किसी हिंदी सिनेमा के क्लासिक सीन की तरह आंखों के सामने आ जाती है। सलमा सुल्तान के इसी अंदाज का कायल था पूरा हिंदुस्तान। जब जब वो दूरदर्शन पर कोई खबर पड़ती, दर्शक उन्हें टकटकी लगाए देखते और सुनते। कानों के बगल से झांकता गुलाब और सलीके से बांधी गई साड़ी, इस स्टाइल ने वो समा बांधा कि कई हिंदी फिल्मों के हीरोइनें यही अंदाज अपनाने लग गईं।
So that's a very, I mean, brief introduction, but you know, when we were kids, we of course always looked forward to watching TV and watching Salma ji's newscast because of that rose and because of the feeling of some glamour in the middle of the serious news. But I actually wanted to ask you, in the year 1967, it's not a common thing to imagine that there would be a woman working on television. That's not our perception for most people. What kind of upbringing did you have, and what kind of, how did you imagine for yourself that you would do such a job?
I think the credit goes to my family and my upbringing indeed, because I was brought up in an atmosphere where I was always told to be independent, to be self-reliant, and there was a lot of emphasis on education and what career a girl would like to take up. So, and I was always interested in extracurricular activities, debates and dramatics and all that. So when I was doing my post-graduation from Delhi, so this was in my mind, and it was in the mind of everybody in my family, that what will I do? What career I would like to choose? So a friend of our family suggested television, but at that time television was not on my mind because I had not seen much of it because I was in Delhi for a shorter time. So I went for an audition, and luckily I got selected, and the journey moved on.
When you say that you were not in Delhi and you hadn't seen much of TV, are you saying that in those days there was TV was only to be seen in the metro cities? Could you not see it in Bhopal when you were growing up there?
Yeah, Delhi television came to India in 1958, and at that time I was in Bhopal. I was in a school, so I was not very much familiar with that. I used to come to Delhi to visit my sister, and there were some tele clubs and all that. So occasionally, but I did not give much heed to that. So in fact, when it was suggested that this should be the proper career for me, because seeing my interest in all these activities, so then it became a very clear choice for me.
But at the time, I mean, if your family, you came from an elite family, and it was possible perhaps for you to contemplate this kind of a career. It sounds very unusual for its time. Was that really the kind of atmosphere that most girls were growing up in? Do you remember your peers having the same possibility?
Um, at least in my house, my role model was my sister. She was 20 years older to me, and she was the first woman to fight assembly election from Bhopal. So that was the kind of atmosphere there. And I think, no, I think girls at that time were not so backward, but yes, this choice was really very different and extraordinary.
Manjuji, for you, I mean, you started working just a few years later, like maybe about under a decade later.
Not really. I started working on TV in 65.
Really? How come?
I just finished my senior Cambridge, and there was some news that they're looking, I mean, they're auditioning for a play. It was a long serial. It was a soap, actually, Bhule Bisre Chitra. And it was like 100-part series. And my mother said, "Chalo, audition." I never used to act in school or anything, but I went for the audition. I did the audition, and as I was coming out, a peon came from behind and said, "Aapko andar wapas bula rahe hain." And I remember the name of the director, very senior director, Prashant Pandey. And he said, rehearsal pe aa jao kal se tum. तो मैंने बोला क्या करना होगा, कल बता देंगे. तो 6 दिन रिहर्सल होती थी. 6th 7th डे पे प्ले रिकॉर्ड होता था, like a stage play. So I started in 65.
But
And
it was only much later that then you became Manju Didi.
that was after I came to Bombay, and this was in Delhi. And when I came to Bombay, then I had my 2 daughters. When my second daughter was about 6 months, that's when I started Khel Khilone.
But isn't it so uncommon that your mom asked you to go and audition?
My mother used to come with me for the rehearsals. Every day she'd be sitting there and knitting. And I remember in 67, I was still doing plays over there. So Salma ji na पास से निकल के जाती थी, गुलाब का फूल ऐसे लगता जैसे कोई परी जा रही है. मुझे लगता है मैंने भी फूल लगाना आपसे ही सीखा शायद, क्योंकि मुझे अच्छी तरह याद है वो लॉबी में हम लोग रिहर्सल करते होते थे और आप वहां से गुजरती थी और हमारी आंखें बस टकटकी लगाए देखती रहती थी.
At that time, apparently Doordarshan used to work out of the All India Radio building, right?
Yes. Well, it was very near that, yes.
When where did you grow up, Manjuji? Like when you were growing up in your family, what was the imagination? That did you think that you would be somebody that would have a career in the media, or was it that mostly girls were expected to get married?
Get married, yes. And I was ready to be married. I mean, I got married when I was very young. I just finished college and got married. But career and as far as doing things was concerned, we are four sisters. And my parents absolutely gave us the opportunity to do and try everything possible and then decide for ourselves as to what we would like to, I mean, we had complete freedom.
And
Complete freedom.
was that typical of
Yes.
other young women that you knew at that time? Like you grew up in Kamla Nagar, right? Your
Yes.
father had a chemist shop in Daryaganj. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I also spent some growing up years in Daryaganj because my family home was there. So I don't remember it being a very typical thing that young women will work and have careers and that kind of thing.
It's true, like where we used to stay, we were treated like as though कुछ मतलब मैं कहूँगी खास है क्योंकि हम उतनी जितना फ्रीडम हमें था या जिस तरह की लाइफ हम लोग लीड कर रहे थे और सिंपल वेरी सिंपल my father had the chemist shop in Daraganj. He used to go in the morning, come back late in the night. My mother did her graduation after getting married, but she exposed us to so much of the world. We used to get all these magazines we used to read, and we used to go to the club and play tennis. I mean, we were really taught swimming. There was nothing that we could not do. That's the reason I always felt कि मैं कहीं भी जाके I can speak. I wasn't frightened of any situation or anybody or any कि ये कोई खास है तो डरना चाहिए नहीं.
So Sarmaji, I would like to, ask you a little bit more about, this idea of being a newscaster. There weren't really that many news programs. Like it's the first time कि यहाँ हो रहा है. India में television is being created in the years that you are working there. So do you have a memory of deciding कि किस तरह से announcement करनी चाहिए? What training were you given? How did you develop the style that you had?
Paru, there was no training. We had our mentors like Mr. Shukul, Mr. Kiran, I think. And so it was, we used to go for announcements with lot of rehearsals, preparation. And there used to be a duty officer in a small room who used to keep a watch on us. So after finishing a job, he'll write something, some pronunciation mistake or something. And the next day there'll be a meeting and there'll be a court martial, then we'll get a memo for that. So this was a practice of doing that. But I must say, because of their personal attention of our mentors, they gave us a new lease of life. They infused confidence. And the most important thing, we were asked to develop our own personality. We were not copying each other. We were just seeing, okay, this looks nice on us, this kind of sari looks nice on us, this kind of a hairstyle. So we were our own hairstylist. We were dressing up ourselves, and best advisors for our viewers. Because the moment you finish your news, there used to be call in the duty room and we'll say, call for Salma. So I'll say, yes, somebody tell you, oh, you were looking nice. Somebody say, oh, you were not looking nice. So this kind of confusion, but we grew out of that confusion and we empowered ourselves. I think this is the best kind of training that we got. And Manju, I think, will agree with me.
How did the rose come about? Like how did you start wearing the rose and develop you had a fashionable kind of air, and how did that image come together for you?
At that time, Paru, we had no sense of image or personality or aura or something like that. So it was a very I should say very innocent kind of atmosphere around us. So as I told you that we were our own stylist, and so one day I wore a sari and I thought, what should I do? So there were beautiful roses in the garden. I said, I must use pink rose with my pink sari. So I just used that flower, and I think when I finished the news, there were so many calls and so many letters. Next day, also repeated the same thing. But third day, fourth day, I didn't use it. So there were so many calls, and there were such a protest that, no, you must use this flower. So then it became a habit, Sometimes if I didn't have flowers in my garden, I used to steal flowers from my neighbor's garden. So, so they're beautiful roses. So then it became a habit and people liked it. But the thing is that when you work in an organization, there's so many thought processes which don't gel with you, or somebody likes you, somebody doesn't. So there was a meeting. One day I was called for a meeting, and the room was full of all the producer staff, and the director was sitting there, and I was sitting in one corner. So I thought I'm being court-martialed. So I think there were so many questions that look, and there was very atmosphere, very seriousness. News is a very serious affair, and I think when you use a rose, it's distraction, this and that. So then I listened to everything quietly and I said, no, the thing is that I've been using flower for a very long time. In fact, it has become a part of my personality now. So if I don't use it now, it will distract. So I finished the matter there. I got the memos, but I carried on, and my viewers still recognize me. And now, Paro, it has become my Aadhaar card. Ask me why. Because
Why?
I'm so amazed, because I stopped using flower because news is gone. And I mean, so whenever I go to some marriage or some party or some function, the first thing after saying hello to me, they say, where's your rose? I said, oh, I forgot it. They'll bring a flower, they'll tuck it in my hair. So this is their story for rose.
I'm very interested in what you said, that news is a very serious affair. तो आपको बालों में गुलाब का फूल नहीं लगाना चाहिए. और इस तरह की सोच कि जहाँ पर सोब्राइटी है वहाँ पर मजा नहीं हो सकता. That news, facts, and these kinds of important matters are at a higher level, and these things like beauty, fashion, those things which give us pleasure, they are at a lower level. This has been a kind of dichotomy forever, and I feel it's very interesting that in a way जो एकदम बहुत ही, I mean, even when we were small and Doordarshan News was the only news, and TV देखने के लिए we just used to tarso because there was something, but we still did feel the news was a bit boring because it was very straight and very serious. So the idea of
it is interesting now.
No. What do you think?
I think I have stopped watching television. I'm sorry to say that. I don't want to comment on that. That's another matter. For that, we'll have another discussion. But yes, news is a serious affair. More than serious, it's a matter of credibility. If the person who is reading news should look credible, should sound credible, should look intelligent, more than beauty, intelligent, I remember one thing that, you asked me, how did I start reading the news, So at that time, when you were very young, so I was making announcements, but I used to envy the newsreaders, There were two newsreaders, Pritama ji, very well-known, beautiful face of television, and one Mr. Gopal Kaul. So, as an announcer, I'll go there 2 o'clock, I'll put on my makeup, everything, and then I'll make a small announcements. Ab aap ye dekhiye, ab Krushi Darshan dekhiye, ab Sangeet ka program dekhiye. And we'll sit in the makeup room, and 10 o'clock we'll say namaskar, and then, take off our makeup and come home. These newsreaders, they'll come at 5 o'clock, they'll sit very demurely, they'll read the news, finish the news, and they'll go away. So I used to ask Shukul ji, I mentor Shukul ji, हम news कब पढ़ेंगे? तो शुक्ल जी कहते भाई पढ़ लोगी जब वक्त आएगा पढ़ लोगी. तो वो वक्त आ ही नहीं रहा था. तो एक दिन ऐसा हुआ, और इसको हिंदी में सुनाने में मजा आएगा, कि वो जो गोपाल कौल थे वो न्यूज़ नहीं पढ़ना चाहते थे. तो एक दिन वो आए और उन्होंने पूरा अपना सर मुंडवा लिया, वो गंजे होके आ गए और कहा कि पढ़वाइए हमसे न्यूज़. तो अब जाहिर है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक गंजे आदमी से न्यूज़ कैसे पढ़वाता. तो पूछा कौन है अनाउंसर इस वक्त, उनका सलमा है, हमको बुलाया गया. तो पूछा आप न्यूज़ पढ़ेंगी? हमने कहा हाँ शुक्ल जी बिल्कुल. तो जाइए तैयारी करिए, न्यूज़ पढ़िए. हमने न्यूज़ तैयारी करी, न्यूज़ के लिए गए. अब मसला ये है कि न्यूज़ अनाउंसमेंट तो आपको 2 लाइन का करना है, और न्यूज़ के लिए आपको 10 मिनट की न्यूज़ के लिए सिर्फ कैमरे में देखना, ना पानी पीने की फुर्सत है, ना फिल्म्स हैं. तो खैर यानी भी कॉन्फिडेंस था, जो भी था, या फॉल्स कॉन्फिडेंस था. गए, नमस्कार किया, न्यूज़ पढ़ना शुरू किए, समाचार समाप्त हुए, खत्म हुआ, फिर एक गिलास पानी भर के पिया. अब उसके बाद मैंने सोचा कि हम जब आएंगे कंट्रोल रूम में तो वाह हो रही होगी, भाई क्या बात है पढ़िए, तो वहां सब ऐसे बैठे हुए थे, क्योंकि सलमा सुल्तान ने जो न्यूज 10 मिनट की थी वो 8 मिनट में खत्म कर दी थी और उनको फिलर्स लगाना था। तो फिर उन्होंने सोचा कि भाई ये तो बहुत मुश्किल बात है, अब इनको हर हफ्ते इनको एक न्यूज दी जाए, इनको ट्रेन किया जाए। तो इस तरह से हमारा सफर न्यूज का शुरू हुआ।
दिस थिंग कि आपने न्यूज जल्दी खत्म कर दिया और आपको फिर उनको फिलर्स लगाने पड़े। नाउ नॉर्मली न्यूज पूरी तरह से प्रिपेयर होता था पहले से ना, देयर वाज नो ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का कॉन्सेप्ट। कभी कभी तो हुआ होगा कि अचानक कोई न्यूज आया और आपको पढ़ना पड़े। और ये सवाल एक्चुअली हमारे कोलीग नूपुर बासु जो भी टेलीविजन जर्नलिस्ट रही हैं वो पूछ रही थी कि डिड यू एवर गेट न्यूज ऑल ऑफ अ सडन?
डिड यू एवर? नहीं, एवरी टाइम, बिकॉज आपको तो हम लोग यहाँ तक दिखते हैं। आज भी मैंने पूछा था कि मैं कहाँ तक दिखूंगी, क्योंकि मुझे इतना ही दिखने की आदत है। तो पीछे जो कुछ होता रहता था वो आपको नहीं पता चल रहा था। तो होता ये था कि हमने एक बंच न्यूज का तैयार कर लिया और उसको पढ़ने शुरू किया। अब हम पढ़ रहे हैं बहुत सोबर होके, बहुत करके, और बीच में से प्रोड्यूसर लगा हुआ है गत्ते खींचने में, एक खींच रहा है दूसरा लगा रहा है, क्योंकि जो नई नई न्यूज आती थी वो उस पर रख दी जाती थी। और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात ये थी कि उस वक्त जो थे जो हमारे टाइपराइटर थे ना, वो बेचारे बहुत पुराने थे, जर्मनी से आए हुए थे, जर्मनी से उधार लिए थे, वो घिस गए थे, उनकी जो नीडल्स थी, तो वो उचकते थे, मतलब एक वर्ड उचका एक उधर चला गया। तो टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर आ चुका था, तो एक बार टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर पे मैं अच्छा उस वक्त ट्रेन हो चुके थे आपके सारी इन कैलामिटीज के लिए। तो एक दफा मैं देख रही थी तो कैमरे में आया था कि पुराने जमाने में औरतों को, तो उसका लॉजिकल कंक्लूजन ये था कि पर्दे में बंद रखा जाता था। तो उसमें लिखा हुआ आता था क्योंकि बंद जो रखा कर रहा था वो बंद की तरफ आ गया था, खा उधर चला गया। तो वो लाइन बन गई कि पुराने जमाने में औरतों को बंदर खा जाता था। लेकिन उस वक्त प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड आ चुकी। मैंने पढ़ा ये कि पुराने जमाने में औरतों को पर्दे में बंद रखा जाता था, लेकिन हमारे कंप्यूटर ने लिखा था बंदर खा जाता था। सो इस तरह के तो बहुत से हादसे हुए जो आपको नहीं पता है, वही तो कहानी बिल्कुल अलग है ना। क्या क्या होता था पीछे, आपको कैसे बताएं?
एक कॉन्ट्रास्ट बिटवीन कुछ 1-2 साल पहले मैंने बाय चांस दूरदर्शन न्यूज देख लिया फिर से, और मुझे लगा कि जैसे आजकल मेडिटेशन के एप्स आते हैं ना, that they call calm and whatever, so it felt like that, like compared to the news that we see on other channels, suddenly Doordarshan seemed very, and I kind of missed that slow speed of Doordarshan. और दूरदर्शन के न्यूज एंकर्स की खासियत ये भी होती थी कि there is a kind of objective voice in which you seem to be reading, right? But of course famously you had to read the news of Indira Gandhi's assassination, and that was the one time you did show some emotion. Did that create a problem later? Was it a question that came up?
नहीं, ये सवाल के जवाब आई थिंक आई एम गिविंग इट फॉर द 1000th टाइम। इसको फिर मैं क्लियर करती हूँ। देखिए, एक तो उस वक्त उस जमाने में शायद मेरा चेहरा जो था वो था ही ऐसा बहुत सोबर और रंजीदा, मतलब मुस्कुराने तो मैं अब लगी हूँ, उस वक्त तो लोगों की शिकायत होती थी कि शी डजंट स्माइल। और जहां तक इसका सवाल है, वहां पर देखिए न्यूज को आप ऑब्जेक्टिवली पढ़ते हैं। आई डिड रीड द न्यूज वेरी ऑब्जेक्टिवली। सो उस वक्त फेस पे आपको कोई और तो तासुर आने का नहीं था। यू हैव टू बी सीरियस एंड सोबर बिकॉज वी न्यू दैट शी इज नो मोर, वी न्यू दैट समथिंग टेरिबल हैज हैपेंड। So I read out my news like that. So why there was no question, there was no explanation for that. And I think abhi aapne meri clipping dikhai, I'm looking quite sober. So I've answered your question.
Yes, you are looking very sober. Manju ji, in contrast to that sobriety and seriousness, the program that you became famous for, Khel Khilone, was quite opposite, right? Like you were known to be the Chulbula anchor, but it was the first program for children on Doordarshan. Were you involved in the way that the program was shaped? How did you get chosen for it?
Actually, Sudha Chopra, the credit goes to her. She was the producer. And I was doing plays on Bombay Doordarshan at that time. And she, as a producer, used to write the script. And she herself was such a joyful and absolutely so full of life person that it was very infectious. The program had to be, and plus she introduced the puppets. And another thing which was very important was that she would give us a script which was like pointers. It was not like lines written that I'm going to speak and then this one is going to speak. We were allowed to be very spontaneous. And a lot of live programs used to be there. So it was not like recordings के लिए पहले से हमने practice कर ली है या lines याद करके गए हैं. Just land for the program. And I remember for the live program, I remember, I don't know how for news reading it must be the same, but every time it used to be, the heart would be thumping away, and then slowly, steadily, it sort of calmed down. And I had two very good people I was working with. One was the puppet that I used to work with. And then, of course, there was another character, Malikaka. So there was always a kind of a conversation going on, and then the guests would come. So it always seemed like not something that one had to be acting or doing things planned. It was left, and that the credit goes completely to the producer. And I think one thing led to another. I think Golmaal happened because of Khel Khilone. Rishida saw the program and sent, Salmaji was talking about the duty officer. His assistant came and sat with the duty officer waiting for me to finish the program. And his name was Bharat Rangachari. He's no more, unfortunately. He came and he said, "Main Rishida ne mujhe bheja," and I just thought he was the most funniest guy that he would think I would take him seriously. I said, "Ha, sun liya," and I walked away. I just thought he was just pulling my leg completely. So the duty officer, one would go and ask, and all that used to happen exactly the way she described. One would get pulled up the next day if there was a mistake. Yes.
I looked so hard for just even like a 30-second clip of Khel Khilone so that we could show it, but I couldn't find anything. Like at least with Salmanji, I could find bits and pieces on the internet. But Khel Khilone, it's almost like it doesn't exist, right? How come?
Because I remember when I did Golmaal, and after that, I remember going there because somebody had asked for the clippings at times. And it happened, I remember even while we were used to shoot, they used to use the same tapes again and again. They would erase the tapes and reuse them, and nothing was ever saved or kept aside. And बच्चों के program की परवाह थोड़े ना कोई करता था उस समय. It was just by the way.
Why is that? I mean, they started it, so they must have cared about it, no?
No, I'm sure they cared about it. The main thing is the children cared about it. The kind of relationships I have seen formed because of the program. I mean, you remember it. I experienced this almost every second, third day of my. Now I work with schools, so I go to schools where the teachers and the principals grew up with the program. And it's so joyful because they get so emotional and they get teary-eyed and they remember their childhood and then they hug, and I feel blessed completely. It's too good. And by the way, another thing, Paramita, I was Manju Didi then, now I'm Manju Nani.
Well, there should be some progress in life. So, one thing that you said to me when we were preparing for this was that you owe your life to 5 women and 1 man, right? And could you tell us a little bit about who those women are and that one man?
First, of course, my mother, because if my mother hadn't been encouraging and hadn't been, she literally would be there. Because she knew that on my own, I was too young, as I told you, in 65, and it was not possible for me to reach Doordarshan every day for rehearsals, But she would make it a point and be there with me and go 6 दिन, 7वें दिन पे recording होती थी वहाँ पे जैसे. So my mother, then of course, I think if Sudha Chopra had not given me the opportunity for Khel Khilone, I would, Golmaal wouldn't have happened and rest of the things. And after that, most importantly, I would say Amrita Pritam. And that happened because of show theme. I did a show theme with her. The name was Yatharth Se Yatharth Tak. That was the topic. I went to shoot with her. And after I finished, she said, तू मेरी एक कहानी बना. I said, बनाऊं? तो हाँ, मेरी एक कहानी बना. So, and she had the story, absolutely. She said, ये वाली कहानी करो, ये वाली कहानी बनाओ. And that's how the name also, एक कहानी बना से एक कहानी शुरू हो गया. And I think within 3-4 months, एक कहानी happened. And we shot and she loved it. And she really, her influence on me. And plus she told me so many things that women should know. So many things. Like how we cannot let things, overwhelm us. Or I remember when I was doing show theme, Paramita, I was called for a program, and I remember there were lots of men over there who worked in television and in mostly radio also. And I remember a gentleman coming on stage and saying कि जब एक औरत काम करती है ना तो वो एक फैमिली के पेट पे लात मारती है. It was shocking, कि because अगर एक आदमी की काम करता है तो वो अपनी पूरी फैमिली का ध्यान रखता है. एक औरत करती है अपने शौक के लिए अगर काम करती है तो वो एक and it hurt somewhere, but I retorted. I said my own thing, and I didn't believe it, obviously. And I was not brought up to be take any people. If they annoy me, I always answered back. So that happened. And then, of course, Golmaal ke time pe, the women, so Amrita Preet, Mrinal Pandey, very important. Because एक कहानी के बाद मैंने फिल्म बनाया था अधिकार, which was on legal rights of women. And I just loved the way she spoke, and I just loved watching her. And she's so calm also, like Salma ji ke jaisi. Itni, matlab, koi bhi baat. And she's another one. She's like, you would think ke phook marenge to ud jayengi. But she's so strong. And she also taught me how to, take things in my stride and not let things overwhelm me. And Adhikar happened. So many women, Ketki Jaikar, she's the advocate who came with all the cases where she had fought for women, and we made it like a docudrama. In fact, and then Mrinalji would explain the law point. And they stopped the program because it was a question in the parliament. They said that women are coming to know about their rights. This program should not be given an extension. We only did 13. We weren't given extension because there was a hue and cry that why should women know their rights? I was so heartbroken. And anyway, things happened. So then Mrinal Pandey, and then who else?
But I'm so surprised to hear that, what you're saying, because, Salma ji also did a show about women's rights, right? Jalte Sawal. And we also had figures like Rajni. And so people were talking about women's rights on TV all the time. So this thing about the parliament, what caused...
I still have the clipping with me where it was basically because the main thing was, it was not that the men didn't want the program to happen because women would come to know their rights. It came in newspapers also, and it came in articles also, that the mother-in-laws got worried that daughter-in-laws ko apne haq pata chal gaya to kya hoga, ghar mein tufan machega. They would switch off the TV at 9 o'clock. So it was, वो कहते हैं ना कि औरत की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन होती है, that kind of a thing. So there was a thing कि why create awareness on things which are best left alone, that kind of a thing perhaps. So
obviously, aurat is not aurat's worst dushman, because as you yourself have said, it is women who made a big difference in your life. But I suppose कि उस तरह का program, Jalte Sawal or Adhikar, in a sense, they opened up the idea of the family, because y'all were women who had the chance and the luck, opportunity, whatever you say, to be in families that did not feel women must only play one role for the family to be preserved, right? Or respectability to be maintained. But for the whole, even until today in India, it's very difficult really to talk about family and things that will change family dynamics. So I guess now when you say it, it's very understandable. It's just very clearly said. आज लोग इतने openly नहीं कहेंगे शायद.
वैसे बहुत सी चीजें जो बदल गई हैं, पर बहुत सी तो वैसी ही हैं.
That's true. Yeah.
उतनी अच्छी नहीं है.
I'm going to show a clip of both Ek Kahani and Amrita Pritam in a minute. But first, I wanted to ask you, just like Salma ji's Rose, I often think about show theme in a similar way. That in the sobriety of Doordarshan and this very strict कि हर एक show का एक message होना चाहिए, right? Like everything on Doordarshan was कि सिर्फ मजे और मस्ती के लिए you really have to wait for चित्रहार or Chhaya Geet as it was called in Bombay. बाकी टाइम हम हमेशा कुछ lesson या moral या सीख पा रहे हैं TV से. So show theme was a very interesting thing because it joined everything. It joined education, it joined morals, and it joined Bollywood fun. And the thing is that, so the scholar, television scholar, media scholar Ashwin Puntambekar has said that show theme was the first example on Indian television of media convergence. Okay? Hindi films and television, two different media coming together to create some new kind of, property and a new importance for both the media. How did you think about show theme? How did it come about? How were you able to produce it? And can you also describe, because there are many people who've not seen show theme, and I think I directed one of the last episodes in the new series of show theme, but for those who haven't seen show theme, could you just give us a quick description of it and then explain how it came about?
See, as far as the content is concerned, I would give I talked about now the 5 women and 1 man. The 1 man who really influenced my thinking is Rishida, because I remember that the entire Golmaal shooting used to happen in his house. The entire thing happened, and between shots, I would be sitting with him, and he would be relaxing, or and I'd chat with him, and that's the time my mind was given so much to think about, because he's the one who said that if you reach out to many people, you got to do it with responsibility. You cannot be irresponsible if you are on a medium which is reaching out openly to many people. Now that he just drilled it into my head. And I think Show Theme was the first program, and it was inspired by what Rishida would say, that there's so much that happens. Like I remember in the first program that I did, to describe how the program happened, we took a topic. Like the first program we did was friendship, and Poonam Dhillon, she compared it. So, and I had a wonderful team. I had Usha Dikshit. She still writes for soaps and all. She had just come from Bhopal. She just was raw completely, and she would write a beautiful script. So we would write different aspects of friendship and illustrate it through the films. And most of my films, I had taken Rishida's films because I knew that those are the ones that I can get the clippings of. It was a long process of making it happen now, not like edit it immediately and all that. But the thought was to illustrate a concept or an idea through the films over a period of time and use the scenes as a tying in factor. Now, how the idea came about, I think me and my husband, we discussed it, and I thought it was easy. Somehow I find it very difficult to work with scripts which are specifically written. Like, for instance, after Ek Kahani, I couldn't do soaps because Ek Kahani, the story was there, literature, the aesthetics of the literature were there to work with. Whereas for a soap, you got to get somebody to write, and I find everything, like, it needs to be a certain way. So in this case, the beautiful film scenes were there. We just had to tie them together with a script. So we did so many topics like sibling rivalry, se lekar, friendship and compassion and arrogance. I mean, any aspect of life was taken and then illustrated. And the fun part was to select the scenes. I love watching films. Yeah. I'm doing the same now, by the way.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. I mean, now it is impossible to imagine a show like Show Theme in which movie stars or relatively well-known faces from Bollywood would be comparing a show and actually talking about philosophical themes like friendship and rivalry.
Sita Patil's show was the best I've ever done. Hers was in 2 parts, and the topic was Aurat. And she spoke so beautifully. And most of her films that she had done, the clippings were used from all her films, Bhumika and Shyam Benegal's films also, Ankur was used. So like, you know, and she spoke with so much of passion about what it is to be a woman. So, and it was a beautiful show. She looked so beautiful.
I wanted to ask Salma ji some things before we come back and talk about Ek Kahani. And Salma ji, at some point, I mean, you had a very successful career as a news announcer, of course, but then also as a compare, you were also doing some live shows. And then you became a producer later. Why did you decide to become a producer?
I know I became very comfortable with reading news, you know, I got used to it and I always look out for challenges. So nothing exciting was happening. So, but I used to see a young petite girl coming from Bombay and she was a producer, she was director and she was producing Ek Kahani and she's sitting right in front of me. So I used to admire her. I used to think that how come she's doing such a production? How come she's directing and all that? Because I had no idea about direction. So that thing sowed the seeds of this direction in my mind. So in '87, I thought I should do something and I should make Panchtantra. So I just gave the script to Doordarshan for Panchtantra and I had no clue as how to go about it, but it did come about very well, and it used to come after Mahabharat, and I'm so glad that I thought that there were 4 episodes of Panchtantra which were supposed to be shot in a palace. So I thought I'll go to Bombay and I'll just shoot there. I had no idea how to create a palace. I mean, what all it involves. Somebody told me that Chopra Saab's set is there and the shooting is finished and you meet him and maybe he'll allow you. So I went to see Chopra Saab and he was so kind. He said, yeah, you can shoot on my set. So the 4 episodes of Panchtantra were shot at the set of Mahabharat. And this Panchtantra used to come exactly after Mahabharat. So this is the way. So she's the one, Manju Singh, who gave me the inspiration. And, that's why my journey of production, moved on.
That's a kind of incredible story to hear.
It's incredible. I can't believe this.
But this is true. This is true. And I wanted to share it at this forum.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful that you saw each other and
yeah. I used to admire her because she gave me such a motivation that then I became a producer and then I produced Panchtantra, then Suno Kahani and then Jalta Sawal and many documentaries, and so she's the inspiration behind my research.
So much. I really I can't express words. I don't have the words to say.
You have to accept it, Manju.
But before you became a producer, you were like a kind of a star, and there's a power in being a star, importance in being a star by that time. Did you find that people's attitude to you changed when you became a producer? Did they behave differently with you?
No, those were very different times. There was no concept of image and persona or celebrity and all that. That was, it was not that I left reading news and then became a producer or a director. It was simultaneous. While I was reading news, I gave this proposal for Panchtantra and I got it. So, no, I think there were a lot of appreciation for the extra effort that I put in.
We've been speaking about how good everything was, but some things must have been tough. And I often think, you've spoken a little bit, both of you, about things people said in the workspace. She'll never become an announcer, news announcer, or women take away men's jobs, etc. What about in personal life? Did you find that being a very successful woman also impacted your personal life and how people in more personal situations responded to your importance?
No, I think the office journey has been very difficult. It's not an easy task to survive in that male-dominated atmosphere. And at that time, I think it didn't strike me, but when I think back, I realized that there was this kind of a feeling that being a woman, there were veiled kind of things which we did not understand at that time. So we had to surmount many difficulties, especially my journey has been very, very tough at every stage, explanations for every small things, notices and all that. So you have to fight back, and I did. So, but it's a good thing because I think they taught us how to survive and how to emerge out of the troubled waters. And as far as personal life concerned, I think I consider myself very, very lucky because my childhood was very encouraging. And even after marriage, I did not feel any difficulty in pursuing my career or, dealing with it. So that was the thing that was balancing out, the difficulties at the office and the support at my home place. So that way I'm lucky.
Manjuji, what about you?
Without support from home, it's very difficult to do the kind of work or the kind of time that one needs for doing this kind of work, like being a producer. Because I remember when I was doing a kahani, I was traveling so much because for each story, it would take a month. Like for instance, the Punchlight story that I sent you. We went to Bihar and first we go and then we find a theater group and then start casting and then finding out. And I mean, and then shooting itself would take 7-8 days to do one episode. So I used to remain out, and I remember when my daughter was growing up, she said once, although she has it in her, I think you met Shalini. She's a very creative person. She deserves to be a producer. But at that time, when she was growing up, she said, "I'm not going to do what you're doing." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I know what my children will feel." So it was. I don't know whether I paid attention at that time or not. Maybe I did not. But it does take a toll on me. But then I've always lived in a joint family. So I had a lot of support from my father-in-law, mother-in-law. And but then I became at some stage, like my children say, that I'm a workaholic. I mean, I can't not work. It's very difficult. So I'm still as involved and as I used to be, and it becomes a habit. And as far as people are concerned, they adjust.
There's a question from Pearl, which is a fantastic question. And it's, I also want to know the kind of power these ladies would have when they went out. Did restaurants sponsor your lunches? Did you get rishtas for your cousins fixed by being present in their meetings? Like, what's the kind of social power you were wielding because you were so famous?
I want to share that I have had several experiences where I would take a cab and the cab wala would not take money from me because Didi, aapse paise kaise le lu? It's happened to me so many times. Then another experience I had, which I'll always treasure, is that I'd gone for a meeting in a high rise in South Bombay, and it was to a bank, I think. And there was a very lovely young girl in her 20s traveling in the elevator with me, and it stopped. She got out. I was still inside. And as she walked out, she said, "Thank you for making me so happy when I was a child." And she walked away. She just sailed away. These are the kind of experiences that I treasure, and it makes everything worthwhile. Because and there are many such experiences where on Rakhi I used to get people coming from Thana and all that to come and say Rakhi bandh dijiye. So it's the affection from people. And as I said, I work with schools now, so I have so many teachers and principals who give me so much of respect to me, affection, that things become easy. Everything becomes easy and worthwhile.
And Salma ji, what about you?
I agree totally with Manju. I mean, there were incidents like these and many, and the most precious thing which we still have, still get it, is the love and affection of people. I mean, it's unstoppable, I think, and I mean, only fortunate people can get it. So we are eternally grateful, always grateful to have it.
But I guess, what about people falling in love with you and getting love letters and just that attention and being considered somebody glamorous?
That should remain a secret now. Why expose them after such a long time?
But well, I guess here's the question.
एक कहानी खत्म हो गई. Now we should move on. Yeah, there were many proposals, but unfortunately they did not materialize. So the best man got the person, got the gift. So the story ends. Yes, समाचार यहाँ समाप्त होते हैं.
Okay, we will read into that whatever we feel like for our fantasies.
Yeah.
There's a really important and a connected question from Ishita Sahu to both the guests. Do you think television gave respectability to women in the entertainment industry as opposed to cinema? Because that's true that mostly it was considered not respectable to join movies. It was very difficult.
I think we should not compare both the mediums, because in cinema you are giving expression to very things, which happen in life: good, bad, ugly, not so good. So I think the characters are just enacting that. So I mean, maybe that's the reason that people judge them, people are judgmental about it. But yes, television does get it and did get a respectability, because it's a sober job. No, you're not doing something unusual, you're properly dressed, you're doing something sober. So this is the mentality of the people. This is the projection of their own thinking. So but I'll say that both mediums are very important, and respectability is a very subjective thing, and we should give respectability to cinema as well as to the television. Why not? You agree with me, Manju?
Yes, I do. I also feel that, like you just explained, that in cinema they are performing roles, and the roles have different nuances. In this case, Salma ji was Salma and I was Manju. We were ourselves, we were not putting on any persona, we were ourselves. And the way we came across is how people reacted and how they, in return, gave us the respect or affection because of whatever. It's like, how a child explained it to me the other day. I was in a school, I said, what do you feel when you talk, after watching a film and you're sharing? She said, I feel very, very free because you reach my heart. So I think she reached people's heart, and I reached in Khel Khilone or otherwise. We reach people's hearts, then they respond accordingly. So maybe
But there's an aspect of the fact that because television was going into varied homes, that one of the things about respectability is that in cinema there's romance, and women are dancing and they're presented in their sensual aspect, and that is something that never happened on TV. I mean, like, television didn't have that much room. There was a certain amount of censorship, wasn't there? I mean, wasn't there a limit to what you could say on TV and couldn't say on TV?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. In what we had unwritten rules, like we had to, self-censorship was most important. If there was a story, if I selected a story, I had to be sure that I do not, go beyond a certain limit or become, now though everything it's a free for all. But there were ways in that you could not do certain things, and because TV was a gharka thing, you were reaching out in homes. In cinema halls, it's different. You have a choice. Jao ke nahi jao. Here, when you're reaching out in the homes and the dadi is watching and the little grandchild is also watching, you got to be a little careful about how, violent or how exposed you can make things. There has to be self-censorship.
So, but there was also a censor board, right? And there must have been some rules of what you can and can't show.
टीवी पे सेंसर बोर्ड का तो मैंने कभी नहीं सुना, लेकिन अनरिटन रूल्स वर ऑलवेज देयर. वी यूज्ड टू गेट अ लिस्ट and we had this thing: entertain, educate, inform. These were the three things we used to ask a question, whatever we are doing. Is it entertaining? Is it informing? Is it educating? And if its answers are okay, then go ahead and do it. Otherwise, reject it. Don't do it. You know, and also cinema is different. I want to share something which happened with Rishida while doing Golmaal. I remember it was my first film, and I had just gone to meet him. I didn't even know. Again, like TV, it happened. I went with my 2 daughters, you know, and I thought I'd just meet him and come back. And he said, "Jao upar apna, you know, get your measurements, and tomorrow you're shooting." And all the shooting in his house, people started coming. Who's this new person? And he would just send them away. And he told Dr. Rahi Masoom Raza कि वो जो एक थोड़ा सा romantic love वाला angle है निकाल दो. And he removed it from the story or something. May have been there, may not have been there. And then he would tell Utpal Dutt, he would tell Amol Palekar and everybody, she's got 2 daughters at home. She has to go early. We'll finish her work first. My whole experience was like being in a home.
So it was protected in that sense, you know, because I guess other people don't have that story to tell, and you're coming from television might have, well, also you work with Rishikesh Mukherjee, so it was a different context than people working with other production houses. But yeah, there's a really nice story that Anila is sharing. She's from Pakistan, and she's saying, so on PTV, a newscaster was being bullied to take off her nose pin, as the producers thought it would be distracting. The newscaster retorted with, if anyone is going to be distracted, it will be the men in my family. And over time, the nose pin became her Aadhaar card, ID card also. I think it is amazing, this story about respectability and attractiveness, and how much woman and what is woman and what is acceptable woman that you can be while doing something which is not typically a woman's job. It's not being said, but it's some in between place which both of you are sitting in, being producers, being dressed up, being moms, being actors on TV or announcers on TV. So it's actually a fascinating story of how you're facing those norms and then also working around them and sometimes directly defying them, right? And I still have to show the Ek Kahani clip, but there are lots of exciting questions, so I'm going to ask those. So both Matangi and Rituparna are asking similar questions. Where do both of you get your news from nowadays? And what's the television content that both of you like to watch? Separate questions.
These days,
Nowadays,
my question is very simple. I don't watch news, and I've stopped reading newspapers.
So how do you get the news?
No, I just, somebody conveys it to me, some important happening, then I'll go over it. But as a routine, I don't, because I think it's so disturbing. It disturbs your thought process, it disturbs your thinking, and the facts are not actual, So it's better to avoid that. It's not that I'm not aware of what's happening. This is my way of finding out what's happening, how to react, what is the reality, what is the matter. But certainly not this way.
And Manjuji?
I didn't have a television for 5 years. I just got one 6 months ago. I wasn't watching TV at all. If I wanted to watch something, I would watch on my computer. I would watch Pakistani serials because I enjoyed them. But news, never. And now I've got, recently 6 months ago, I was told by my sisters that I should watch a few these films that are coming on Netflix and Amazon and all, because they're very beautifully made. So I am very selective. I watch those. News I do not watch. Newspaper doesn't come to my house. No.
So you watching films on Netflix, and Salmaji, what do you watch for entertainment?
For entertainment, I sing myself. I listen to good music, and few reality shows I see, the music reality shows, the dance reality shows, for the simple reason that, the amount of talent which our country has got, the amount of effort they make, coming from different backgrounds, not from a very conducive backgrounds, and how they emerge out to be winners, that resilience, that inner part of their belief. So I get motivated by that. I get my motivation by watching these people, and this is what I do. I listen to good music.
Um, Anuradha Sengupta, who is also a news anchor, uh, has a question for Salma ji. We heard your views on news television and what it has become today. But would you have enjoyed the freedom that private news TV allowed versus the controls of the state broadcaster?
No, your question was not clear. There was some voice disturbance. Can you kindly repeat it?
So Anuradha Sengupta is asking, ki you have, you shared your views on what TV news is like nowadays. But do you think that you would have enjoyed the freedom, like if you were working in news TV today, there's a certain kind of freedom of what news you're allowed to report compared to the state broadcaster controlling what news is allowed to be shared? So would you have enjoyed it?
इसका जवाब उर्दू में ज्यादा बेटर है कि बेलगाम होने को आज़ादी नहीं कहा जा सकता. आज़ादी का मतलब कभी भी ये नहीं कि आप बेलगाम हो जाएं. तो आजकल तो हम बेलगाम हो चुके हैं. जो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस जिसके आप जिक्र कर रहे हैं कि दूरदर्शन में या न्यूज़ में, वो रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं थे. दैट वाज अ पैरामीटर ऑफ डिसिप्लिन. आप कुछ भी काम करते हैं, इफ यू आर अ प्लेयर, यू आर अ सिंगर, यू आर अ डांसर, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ पैरामीटर. Beyond that, I should not go. So आज़ादी का मतलब अगर ये है जो आजकल हो रहा है, तो I don't subscribe to that idea of freedom.
But isn't it true that there was a control over what news one could read out on Doordarshan and not read out? Like it wasn't something that could be critical of the government, right?
No, but as newscasters, at that time, I don't know what the time has changed. I don't know what the thinking is all about. But at that time, a newsreader was supposed to convey, to transmit, to deliver the things which were already decided. So I think how come we were supposed to interfere in that? So I won't call it a curb on your freedom or any restriction. That was a precise duty which we were doing.
But as an individual, now that so many years have passed, did you sometimes feel like the news that you're reading is not a truthful indicator of the state of the nation?
Yeah, I feel whatever is happening now, is it truthful? My question.
No,
I have a counter question, because I think if there was a curbing of certain truth, now there's no truth at all. So see the difference now, because the times have changed, So once I get the answer to this, then I can elaborate on that, because at least there was some truth, or truth to a large extent. But what about today? Do you believe in what one channel says and what the other says? There's so many channels. और हर एक अपना राग अलाप रहा है, तो ये तो एक शोर है.
For Manjuji, there's a question also from Anuradha. You just talked about cross-generational audiences watching TV together. They, different generations in a family are watching together, and so you had to be careful. So now when you're seeing the content on OTT platforms, you just said, do you agree that it should be censored?
No, I don't think censorship is possible, because it happened just the other day. And my grandsons were sitting with me, and grown up boys, and my daughter and me and another relative, and one of these channels, and it was very, very, very embarrassing for me. So I just turned, but when everyone else was quite okay, it didn't seem to bother anyone. So it seems like everyone's got used to it. And somewhere I feel I can think of Amrita ji ki mujhe yaad aati hai, because she was such a romantic person. So somehow I feel that romance thoda miss out ho jayega logon ki life mein, because everything being so blatant and so I don't know whether I should say the word vulgar or crass or something, but not necessarily, but so exposed.
Explicit.
So explicit. So I feel that somewhere people will start missing out on the subtlety of feelings and passion and romance and gulab और गुलाब की खुशबू, ये सब चीजें धीरे धीरे भूल जाएंगे. But I try and bring it back in my conversations with the young people, and I try and remind them that these are the things which also, you know, like just hearing a bird sing, or because everything has become very loud. So I think, but everyone is very comfortable with it. That feeling of discomfort which was there at that time, and now, as I told you, I didn't have a television for 5 years, so I didn't know what was happening. But just few days back, I was somewhere, and these two strapping young boys, twin boys, 21-year-old, you know, sitting there, and then suddenly something very, very funny started happening on the screen, and I didn't know where to look, but everybody just went on with life as though nothing is happening.
Well, I think it's interesting because earlier, you know, there was always a joke speaking about gulab that you showed two gulabs cuddling each other, and that is supposed to represent a kiss or passion of any kind. So I guess that was one extreme. There were certain beautiful things that were created in that time, and now is a phase when we are able to be more explicit and have forgotten some of those things, that poetry that you're referring to, and Amrita Pritam kind of passion and longing and romance. And I mean, in fact, it's a good moment, since we've referred to her, to maybe show just a small clip. Yeah, I mean, this idea of the romance and the explicitness being two different things, but also I'm thinking the way that you spoke about the way storytelling is supposed to happen. It should be very direct. It should always be very kind of loud and clear. And as opposed to a time when we are seeing famous writers' works on TV. Like now, watching the clips again, I suddenly remember that, oh, the writers used to come at the end of each episode and talk about their story, right? And so we grew up seeing these really great writers, their stories, and them talking about their stories, which was kind of beautiful. So I want to show the Amrita Pritam clip. And this is the first episode ever of Ek Kahani, right?
Yes.
So
tell the story, no, little bit.
Why don't you tell the story?
See, it's stories about this young wife of a slightly elderly cook in a house who is come from the village, and she's living with her husband. And it's her experience of feeling certain passion for another man. And she doesn't know why she's feeling the way she's feeling. So then she tells the lady of the house that she's heard that it happened in her village to a friend of hers. उसको किसी ने जंगली बूटी खिला दी थी, तो वो पगला गई थी. तो पगला गई थी was fallen in love, and she just tells this story, and then she herself then starts experiencing that. And you're not showing the part of the film, no? That only about Amrita ji. So when Amrita ji speaks about it, it was something she herself had experienced in life. So this was a story that she wrote after having met someone like that in her life.
I'm going to show that clip.
के बाद आज ऐसे लगता है जैसे अंगूरी फिर से मेरे सामने खड़ी हो, और आज मेरी आंखें उसी तरह भर आई हैं जैसे 23 बरस पहले अंगूरी को देखकर एक दिन भर आई थी. शायद वक्त और आंसू कहीं हवा में ठहर गए थे. पैरों में छैल चूड़ी पहने, उंगलियों में बिछुआ, बाहों में पछेला, माथे पर आली बांध, और एक विश्वास को लेकर हंसती हुई अंगूरी कह रही थी, प्रेम करने से तो पाप लगता है. वो एक जंगली बूटी होती है ना, जब वो कोई किसी को पान में डालकर या मिठाई में डालकर खिला देता है, तो वो छोकरी प्रेम करने लगती है. फिर बहुत रोती है, गाती है. और एक दिन अंगूरी, वही अंगूरी, टूटे हुए विश्वास के टुकड़ों को बीनती हुई रो दी, मुझे कसम लागे जो मैंने राम तारा के हाथ से मिठाई खाई हो. पान भी नहीं खाया, सिर्फ चाय. जाने उसने चाय में ही मोहब्बत जैसी अलौकिक घटना घटती है. लेकिन एक मासूमियत है, सदियों के दिए हुए संस्कार हैं, जहां वर्जित लफ्ज को अवर्जित नहीं बनाया जा सकता और एक असह्य पीड़ा को लेकर चलना होता है।
I mean, I wish we could show the whole clip because it's very beautiful. But watching it, I just thought ki I don't think that we can ever hear such things discussed. Nowadays, we don't hear such feelings discussed on television at all. And there's a question from somebody, which I think is linked for Manjuji, well, for both of you, that do you think that the content, because, you know, here you are talking about a woman experiencing desire for a man who is not her husband, right? And it's not something we talk about much. Yes, it's true that many things are explicit and maybe we talk about sex more clearly, but maybe not about passion and relationships and all of the experience of these things. And somebody is asking, Pallavi Chavan, do you think that the content on TV now, particularly fiction-based content, has become more regressive? That in a strange way, it was more progressive in the older days and now it's not. Do you think so, and in what way?
I think it has. It has, in a way, you know, like it's almost, there's a pattern to it. And it's more to do with the fact that it's created, constructed, it's manufactured. It's not coming from the heart. Because mostly that was the best thing about Ek Kahani. The authors used to come in the end and speak, and almost all of them felt very strongly, like Manu Bhandari's story had done, Nakli Heere. That was my second story for Ek Kahani. First was this one. And when writers, serious writers, when they write something, they don't take it as a, it's not just essay, it's a serious matter. So that's why I feel that it's important to remember. I think television has been destroyed by soaps and the Saas Bahus and the villainy of the families and everyone, trying to outdo the other and all the Machiavellian. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's ruined a generation. It's ruined a generation completely. Everyone thinks that somebody is out to get them, and there is no feeling of that you can trust another human being. Everybody is out to mistrust, and it's not right. Maybe it's happening everywhere in the world, and things change. And I don't want to sound okay, things were great in the past and now everything is bad. It's not true. Many great things are happening now. It's just that if you talk, again, Rishida, अगर नेगेटिव बोलते रहोगे तो साइकी नेगेटिव हो जाएगी. लोग अच्छाई पे समझना या उसको मानना भूल जाएंगे. जबकि basically every human being is meant to be humane.
I mean, I think that's very beautiful and important thing that you are saying, ki the feeling that everybody's out to get you. So competition becomes the kind of basis for our relationships with each other rather than self-expression. And because clearly individuality is important, your own lives have shown that individuality is an important thing for us to have. But I think what particularly struck me is what you said earlier, that it's formatted, it's pre-planned in a way, and there's a kind of set narrative and you must fit the story into that narrative, as opposed to something like Ek Kahani, which is exploring facets of human experience with a certain empathy and humanity and with the poetic quality that literature has. And I would like to show, because there would be many people who are watching Anila says this one thing which I think is important, that do bear in mind that the TV has moved from the living room or the drawing room into the bedroom today, and that also makes a difference in the way that people watch TV, right? And of course in middle class families, everybody's watching separately, so watching explicit content is not actually happening necessarily with everybody together. But yeah, I want to show a bit of Ek Kahani because there would be some people who would have not actually seen it, and again, hardly any of it is there on YouTube. You should put it all on YouTube, Manjuji.
Okay.
So that people can watch it, because it's so
dated. My son couldn't, I got him to do all this and send it to you. He says, Mom.
Well, it's of its time, right? But because I think I think the thing that I really found exceptional while thinking about this is that the relationship between literature, television, film, it's all kind of intertwined, because even Basu Chatterjee at that time and Rishikesh Mukherjee are making films out of people's short stories. And there's a lot of relationship with that literature. But
one story I want to tell you about now that you were talking. This is Takadi Shiv Shankar Pillai's story, Husband of a Beautiful Woman. It was such an amazing, hard-hitting story. And when I went to take his interview, I went all the way to Kerala and to the backwaters and all, and he lived in a small mitti ka ghar and old. I mean, when I saw him, I said, "Ye kahani aap hi nahi likhi thi na?" He said, "Haan." And then when he spoke about it, why he wrote it, it was so amazing. So, those were seriously written stuff.
Yeah. But even if your son's saying, "Mom, what is this dated stuff?" I would say, please put it on YouTube so people can see it. I think that people would still love it. Here's a little bit of the intro of Ek Kahani as opposed to the ending, which you just saw.
एक कहानी में आपने देश की अलग अलग भाषाओं में लिखी कहानियां देखी और तब आपको भी ये महसूस हुआ होगा कि चाहे भाषाएं अलग अलग हैं, हमारी संस्कृति एक है। हर प्रदेश में भाषा के साथ साथ अनगिनत बोलियां भी बोली जाती हैं। इस बार हम आपको बोलियों में लिखी गई आंचलिक कहानियां भी दिखाएंगे। हर अंचल का अपना एक अलग रंग है, एक अलग महक है, और जब उस प्रदेश का, उस अंचल का लेखक अपनी कलम उठाता है तो वो खुशबू उसकी रचनाओं में भी आ जाती है। बिहार के एक छोटे से गांव में जन्मे फणेश्वर नाथ रेणु की कहानियों में जो सादापन, जो मासूमियत है, वो उनके अंचल का ही प्रभाव है। लीजिए देखिए रेणु जी की लिखी बिहार के पूर्णिया अंचल की कहानी पंचलाइट।
So yeah, so I mean, yes, there are these kinds of stories and these kinds of flavors that we don't get to see on TV anymore. In fact, I think it's interesting that Salma ji likes to watch the reality shows because at least you get to hear about different parts of India.
मंजू अगर डाल दे तो मैं सिर्फ वही देखूंगी। प्लीज मंजू से कहिए YouTube पे डालें। सो
मैं दिखाती हूँ और मुझे लगता है कहानी देखनी चाहिए।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
जैसी भी है।
मंजू तुम कितनी प्रिटी लग रही हो ना। मैंने सही कहा था कि आई यूज्ड टू लुक एट अ प्रिटी गर्ल एंड यू।
मैं आपको परी बुला रही हूँ, आप मुझे कह रही हो एकदम म्यूचुअल। ये क्या
मैं बता रही हूँ।
It's pretty. So I have a last question. I mean, if we are going to wrap up now in 5 minutes or so, so if anybody who's watching has a question, now is the time to ask it. I'm going to ask my last question, which is that, I remember being young and actually watching Mrinal Pandey on TV, since you mentioned her, and being very struck by her, like just struck. I can't remember why, but I was. And I often think it's just these fleeting, the idea for the series came from these kinds of experiences that we all had. Just a fleeting thing you see and it makes you, it enters you and makes you feel कि मैं भी कुछ ऐसा वैसा करती हूँ, right? Like I don't have to be like everybody else. I can be like somebody else I just saw over there. So, and in the clip that we showed of Salma Ji's, I saw many young girls are watching TV, right? So how do you think that your work and the whole country being able to watch you on TV had an impact on other young women?
I think it must have had an impact of the fact that there was only television, the very fact that a woman or a girl was reading out the news, that had a huge impact upon the young girls, because then I used to get letters where fathers used to write that, Salma ji, we appreciate that a young girl from this background is come out and is making a place for herself. So I think television on a whole, and the fact that a girl was reading out news did have an effect upon the generation.
Do you have a memory of any young women writing to you and what they said, or girls who used to call you up and things?
I have hundreds of letters with me, so I don't remember exactly, but the crux of the whole thing is, yes, it did affect their psyche and it did make a difference. a positive difference.
Yeah. I mean, I think in those days it was very difficult to imagine becoming a movie star, but movie star feelings did come into us from watching women on television, and it made it a little bit more achievable. ना जैसे हासिल कहीं थोड़ा तो पास है क्योंकि घर के अंदर है टीवी, as opposed to cinema जो बहुत दूर लगता था सबको.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
This is the most important. That was achievable. Television, you know. You could aspire to become a newscaster or an announcer. You could be seen on television. That was the thing, yeah.
And Manjuji, what do you think?
I think it did impact a lot of people in a nice kind of a way. And I think that positivity or some kind of takeaway was always there. I've always believed that if you watch something and it reaches the minds and the hearts of people, one can definitely make a difference. 100%. That's why I'm still doing what I'm doing. My program's called Lessons in the Dark. So all the children ask, why lessons in the dark? I said, do you watch? So we switch off the lights in the school rooms and they watch a short film and they talk about it. And the kind of wisdom that children portray, they depict and they share is so amazing. I really feel through your platform, I want to reach out to all and say that please start listening to children. They have more intelligence, brain, wisdom. They can solve many problems that surround us if we just start listening to their pure and simple solutions. So as television and as someone, I mean, खेल खिलौने तो सच में इतने लोगों ने देखा कि मुझे मिलते ही रहते हैं, तो कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा कभी होगा. और अभी भी mostly they say that they share what they saw, the stories they saw, what, and I don't know, the funny part आपके साथ हुआ है ये सलमा जी? They remember the sari I wore at a certain time.
बिल्कुल. तो
गुलाबी you were wearing the green sari and you were saying this. I said, अच्छा. I mean, it's really surprising कि कैसे वो image इतना
amazing.
Has become part of the memories. So, we've spoken a lot. I mean, we've taken a lot of your time, very greedy for more, but I'm sure you're very tired. I want to actually ask one more last question because इंडिया में तो बाय एक बारी में नहीं कहते ना, 2-3 बार बाय बोलना पड़ता है.
मुझे लगता है इसके बाद एक और पूछूंगी पारुमिता. Okay.
I promise last to last. Yeah.
Please पूछ लो.
But when you look at things now, and we've spoken about many of the things that you think are not nice. But what is the one thing you wish you had in your time, which people have now, which women have now?
पारुमिता, I think मुझे तो कम से कम ज़ाती तौर पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं लगता because I feel very fulfilled. I think the memories of the past are so beautiful, so invigorating, and I think I feel completely happy in my skin. There's no wishful thinking. And this is the truth.
That's amazing. And Manjuji?
It's so funny. I want to say the same thing. I mean, honestly, I feel the things from my childhood and my working years and now with my grandchildren. And I just feel that there was nothing lacking. And the kind of encouragement and the kind of opportunities I've had. And one very important thing is every time it's like having a friend up there who would, suddenly drop something in your lap and say, okay, now do this. And it would happen. And one thing led to another. If one just keeps keeps the eyes and the ears and the hearts open, things just happen, and they kept happening one after the other. And it's just...
पारुमिता, जब एक घर खुद अपने हाथों से बनाया जाता है ना, तो हम लोगों ने उस जमाने में टेलीविजन या जो कुछ भी था उसको तिनका करके बनाया. तो अब इस बात पे कंक्लूजन में ये बात याद आ रही जो आपने सेटिस्फेक्शन की बात की है कि हम खुद तराशते हैं मंजिल के संगे राह, हम खुद तराशते हैं मंजिल के संगे राह, हम वो नहीं है जिनको जमाना बना गया. सो हम लोग जो है जमीन से उगे हैं और जमीन से अभी तक हमारी जड़ें बनी हुई हैं. तो हमने बाहर के इन्फ्लुएंस को इतना देखा ही नहीं, ना इतना इमिटेट किया. तो आई थिंक वी आर वेरी कंटेंटेड. अब इसको जिस तरह भी आप समझ लें, बट I am eternally grateful to my lovely, beautiful viewers. Please convey my heartfelt thanks to them.
Yeah.
जैसे भी आप पहुंचा सकें, भर भर के पहुंचा दीजिए, क्योंकि मैं उसको पूरा नहीं कर सकते, इस कर्ज को हम पूरा नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो आप जितना पहुंचा सकते हैं पारुमिता, प्लीज भेज दीजिए हमारी तरफ से.
ये प्रोग्राम हम लोग YouTube पे लगा देंगे, तो then the viewers will be able to see it and hear it. Thank you so much for you both. Like I said, actually I have many more questions, and I know that other people would also have questions, but we don't want to torture you by keeping you on for so long. You've been so gracious with your time and sharing your experiences, so thank you very much. And to everybody who's watching, this is the first episode of the series. There will be more. I mean, we spoke today a lot about early years and, of course, the national broadcaster. In the coming episode, we will also talk about people who didn't have it so easy, and, you know, perhaps being in a smaller place, perhaps being from a community or a background that it was not possible for them to enter these spaces, and they had to make completely new spaces outside of television or whatever. So there will be many aspects that we discuss. Please do keep a lookout for the new episodes. And thanks to everybody for their wonderful questions. With that, I'm going to hand over to Shikha. Thank you again to Manju Singh and to Salma Sultan. It was incredible, and it was very lucky that you guys agreed to, that you all agreed to be on this episode, and I got to speak.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you from all of us at IWRT. Yeah, and handing over to Shikha now.
So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation today. And I want to echo what Parumita said, that, you know, it's been such a warm and intimate kind of a conversation. I want to thank both Manjuji and Salmaji for sharing their journey with us. And I think it's so important that, you know, more work needs to be done on the history of Doordarshan, and, you know, bringing out, there is this kind of texture that has emerged, you know, through the use of anecdotes, through the use of, you know, your memories, especially when some of these programs are no longer available, you know. And I really want to ask Manjuji that please, if you can, you know, put this up, Ek Kahani. So thank you so much. Thank you, Parumita, for, you know, steering this. And also I want to thank the Gaiety Institute again for supporting us for this entire series. I want to thank Debasmita Das for doing the logo and the poster, and Varsha Ramachandran for helping us with background research for putting this thing together. And I also want to thank Sania Farooqui for helping us with technology today. And also thank all the people who have asked such wonderful questions. I think that really added to the conversation. We look forward to, you know, your presence on our next episode. And we're also going to have the recording. So if any of your friends who have missed this today, please tell them to catch it. So bye-bye for now, and thank you so much.